What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. And welcome back to the one guy has a really good camera and the other guy has a really bad camera podcast.
It's actually gotten even worse because the subscription lapsed, so I'm not paying for it. So it's now 720p instead of 1080.
Oh dear.
720/30 instead of 1080/60.
Terrible.
Ultra HD.
I will say, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's on Streamlabs that I'm looking at it. I can't really tell. It doesn't look much lower quality to me, but yes.
I am one smooth object.
To about 2 pixels in total. But welcome back,
Yeah.
yes, to the first proper episode of the Stick Drift Podcast of 2024. It only took us a month and a half. But
Yeah.
yes, well, I suppose that's because channel, I basically just took the break of all breaks, essentially. I was just working through 2023. And I've talked about this before. Everyone said you'd burn out. But then I kept working and I was fine. And then my birthday and New Year's and Christmas came and I was like...
You took like a week, 2 weeks off for
Yeah.
those celebrations and then just couldn't.
And then I just couldn't get back to it. That was the thing. It's because I forced myself to stop, then I couldn't get back up to speed again. And I was just stuck, and it took like a month to come out of that. I started a Lego channel. I've got a semi-successful Lego channel now, of all things, where oh, you've frozen for a minute.
No, I could hear you. I could hear you and see you. Yeah, Discord's doing its usual.
These are the technical difficulties that define the Stick Drift Podcast.
Yeah, one time we try and record, Discord servers have just gone in the bin. Images won't load, it's just freezing. It's brilliant.
Yep, all downhill. But yeah, so I started a Lego channel, of all things, which is just something I get to do like every week, every other week, where I just waffle about Lego Speed Champions. Because I'd already had a few Lego Speed Champions. Like, I remember buying the Supra was the first one, and I didn't like it. Like, I just saw it, and I was like, I guess I'll pick it. Like, I've picked up Hot Wheels before. I look at them, I'm like, I don't need or want or will ever look at this again. But, like, I want to buy it.
Yeah.
I did the same with the Supra, built that, turned that into an RX-7 instead, using only the parts, and then just slowly gain more and more with different mocks and stuff. And now I have, you can't actually see it, but I will adjust it for the video watchers, just so you can see the tower. It's going to consume Josh, but that is the Speed Champion tower that I have at the moment. That is...
it gets bigger every time I see it. It's comically tall now.
To be fair, the Quattro's empty. That one I've just got on there to make the tower look taller. But if those are counted as 2 Speed Champions, the big boxes, we got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but the Quattro is built in behind the TV. 11 Speed Champions plus the 6 that I have. I've got 17 speed. When did I get 17 Speed Champions? Like,
You had like 3 last time I remember, and now you just got a mass.
Like, the most that I can, when I had them all posed up, it was 4 is all I could think of. I guess the Audi R8. I had, like, the Jesko R8, the RX-7, Dom's Charger. Those were, like, the main ones that I had. And then now I have 17. So,
Yeah.
I guess that's what a channel does to you. But, yeah, it's more of a passion project. It's every week or so. It's every week until I've caught up with the ones I've already done and built. But... I don't know. It's a car.
It's replaced SidWaj.
It basically has. It basically has. And honestly, it's made me reconsider SidWaj. I'm like, do I just restart that channel on a new thing? Because Brickwaj, which is the name of the other channel, only go over there if you bloody like Speed Champions to any degree. But it's weirdly done really well. Like, the most recent's on 400, about 100 views a day so far, but all the other videos are 1,000 views or more. One on 22,000. And that's a channel I didn't promote at all. I've never linked it anywhere. I think
it's that DriftWaj was doomed to fail from the start.
You reckon?
There is too much wheel content. there's nothing that makes your wheel channel stand out from the 10 million others that
What
make
I
am driving car in Forza videos.
Mm.
But whereas Brickwedge is semi-high quality, unique content.
Yeah. Well, you know, the camera's pretty good quality, and I'm someone who knows how to be.
It's so off-putting them not being edited though. I watched one of them, and it's just you're just thinking for a solid 5 seconds in complete silence. And it's just like, sure.
The editing would just take too long is the issue.
Would it be too long to cut out the silence?
No, that's a fair point. Maybe I could just, like, never do any zooms or anything.
Just cutting out you're thinking about something for some reason, and I've got no idea what's going on.
That's a fair point.
Because you obviously know what's going on in your head, because you're thinking of something and agreeing with it in your head, and it's just, everyone else is like, yeah.
Yeah. But it's fun to see because people on that channel are like someone was like, oh, isn't this the SidWaj who did videos with Goosiest? Someone asked me what because I talked about how normally I have a gaming channel. Someone said what my second channel's name was on Brickwedge. But yeah, that's running. It's Speed Champion content. I've got the expendable cash for actual Speed Champion content, given Lego in this bloody economy, plus the good camera, plus the YouTuber charisma.
You know how to make videos.
Yeah.
You can be like, whoa, Lego.
Exactly.
Lego.
Instead of just having to start a scratch and being like, so I bought Speed Champions
Magma Edition.
Exactly. My old videos, which are just baffling. I ever got anywhere. But yeah, I think DriftWaj. So if you don't know, DriftWaj was a different channel that I started ages ago, basically around the same time I started the podcast, which was wheel content. I had a wheel. I played racing games already. I saw an opportunity. What the intent was that the thing that was going to be unique was it was daily originally, which
was never going to be. When would you have had the time?
Well, bearing in mind, this is when I didn't have the podcast, I didn't have the ambitions that I have with Stick Drift. The Crew 2 was getting content. So it was just like, and I was doing the videos that were like, you know, the rubbish, the fails and funny moments, stuff like that, right? Those videos were ones
that funnies for the man.
I need to bring that back out. I need to bloody bring that back out.
There's a million series you could remake.
Yeah, 100%. Fails and funny moments was just such a solid one that I could always go back
Reacting to TikTok's always done really well.
Like that's
and now your videos are actually getting views again now. Like you've had back-to-back 6Ks.
Yeah. One's on 7 now, one's on 6. But yeah, there's
a Need for Speed video.
Exactly. I was doing so much. I was still doing a lot, but I had that extra time to be like, I'll start the podcast and I'll start the wheel channel. And essentially what my thinking is maybe I'll restart it at some point. I don't know. Maybe I'll just continue dumping wheel content onto it.
The issue is, to do wheel content, you would have to stop doing something else. The other stuff is doing much better.
Especially Brickwedge at the moment, right? Like, as much as Brickwedge is just a passion project, it's nice to see it do well. Like, just off the bat. Like, that's a cool thing to be happening.
Imagine if that channel gets monetized as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I've talked about it where if it got monetized, it would just be nice that I could buy some Technics or something, you know? I could just do more. Then, if it was monetized, I probably could make it weekly instead of every other week that I get a new one.
It would not. Is it not going to be weekly?
So what I'm thinking is I'm thinking every other week is a Speed Champion, but in between weeks, I do, you know, that one video that did really well, more videos about Speed Champions. So
as long as there's weekly videos at least.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, reviewing your custom Speed Champions, my suggestions for Speed Champions I want to see in 2024. Rubbish like that. But inciting rubbish if you're into Speed Champions. Rating custom whatever,
that needs cuts. Like that. It needs cuts. Please.
You're gonna need cuts eventually.
David, you were thinking about price. It's gonna cost and then like you do a confused face, look into the camera for like 5 seconds, and then like yeah, and then say something else. It's like, yeah, I know what you're on about, sure.
It's so fun. I assume I was calculating, or when I do that, it sounds like I've caught myself repeating something too many times. So I just say
You
yeah.
talked about the price earlier at the same
Yeah,
set,
yeah, I
and
said
you were
it
going to say
earlier.
it again.
That's
Stopped yourself,
exactly.
thought about it, and then carried on.
Because I have to debate in my head, because I've heard a few times recently that like the streamerisms have taken over me. I repeat myself too often. Like, in a sense, especially if it's not in person. In person, you get the sort of like someone can go, yeah, oh yeah, and it's so much more natural to interrupt, like not interrupt, but like start speaking before a sentence ended. So I know when someone's acknowledged something I've said. I've been in meetings recently where I'm talking and I'm never broken up, so I'm just rambling. I'm just like I've got nothing to stop me, and I end up repeating myself. So I assume I've in my head I had to decide between, do I repeat myself again and annoy the viewers because I'm saying the same price over and over again, or do I just say, yeah, you know what the price was.
Some cuts would be nice.
Yeah. I will look into it, because normally I'm doing it when I'm up late, so I'll put it together and then I could probably cut. It doesn't have to be zooms, but I could probably cut.
just cuts, please.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just cuts, maybe I could like send it to Editor Dylan for like a tenner. Yeah, if it's just cuts, like nothing else. But yeah. Started that channel. I do have the wheel channel as well, which, again, like I said, I might go back to just dumping stuff on at some point, like chucking stuff at the wall until something sticks. When I was uploading to it before, every now and then one would do like 1K or more, but it's just sort of like, you know, there's like an 8
Shorts, I feel, will be better for that channel.
Shorts were doing really good on that one. They were, looking at it now, all hundreds, the shorts on this thing.
Wheel shorts are like those BeamNG shorts. They just, people scroll and they're like, oh, car driving, I'll watch that for 2 milliseconds, and then you get your view and then carry on.
Like, even recently, so there was a Forza one I did recently that did bad, like 72 views. Then there's like 100. There was a batch that I did of Motorfest videos, the ones that we recorded together. 100, but then before that, early access, 600, and then 300, and then 100. It's like, it's more opportunistic, but there's nothing going on to get the opportunity with.
They're not adding any content.
Yeah, like so if it would have been daily before, it was like, yeah, I can always, like, any car relevant to that week, I can chuck out a wheel video on. I just sit there for like an hour, record, and then put them all together. But it's like, yeah, that's just unfeasible is the issue. So I need everything else to become a bit more systematic. Then I could be like, okay, this is the hour in the week where I do SidWaj. Because
when do we get the Crew 2 update?
The Crew 2 update is, I believe, a week after the Crew Motorfests, which is March midway, like 14th. Yeah, so like it'll be like late March.
Can't wait.
So, well, I suppose we can talk about that.
Late March is outrageous.
We'll talk about that in the gaming episode of, in the gaming section of this episode of the Secret Podcast. Welcome back! A lot to look forward to. We're going to be doing probably Super Bowl stuff next week, because I normally I see them.
Is it worth doing it next week?
That's
it's gonna
the thing.
Be about a month after.
Like, I didn't see any of the trailers is the thing. Like, I saw zero.
No, I've seen none of them either.
Was there any car trailers in the Super Bowl this year?
Volkswagen, just the usual brands that advertise everywhere. Volkswagen, BMW.
Super Bowl car
commercials. Maybe it was a Lexus ad.
I see a Volkswagen one. It started in black and white old footage. You do not want to go back in time when it comes to Volkswagen.
Interesting choice to make it black and white.
Oh, it starts with a ship. Okay, wait, no, okay. It's
I was on title card like 1945 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what, Volkswagen, they get the hate they deserve.
First diesel guy in there.
Yeah. But no, I can't really see many appealing that. I
don't think there are anything special. Nothing new was announced. It was just,
that's what it seems.
We make cars.
I'm seeing a lot of like fake trailers, which oh god, is that an AI? Oh, there's like an AI live action Moana. Oh god, we could probably maybe even talk about that. There was something that I wanted to talk about recently that was like vaguely
Live
related to
action
cars.
AI Moana. What?
Like, well, they're making a live action Moana, so people have made fake AI trailers using that premise because they know The Rock's gonna be the guy. So you just put The Rock as Maui next to Moana.
You
Film
type that
camera.
in onto like Bing AI image generator, it should just blow up your computer.
Yeah. But the Super Bowl is whatever. I think next week we'll probably talk about more what the big anticipated things are this year. So games, as well as cars, as well as motorsports moments will be next episode. This one is going to be more catch up, if anything, because we got a lot to catch up on.
There's just so much random stuff, but most of it's time sensitive, so it's not even really worth anything now.
Yeah, but you know what? We can talk about it for the core audience. Which welcome, subscribe, share the podcast, let people know that there's a car-based podcast they're missing. Racing games, motorsports, and more podcasts.
I chose a good time to freeze.
Yep, no, yeah, I can see that you were frozen the whole time there. And see, this is the kind of podcast they need to be watching. One with the best of technical difficulties. Let's get into the first bit of news, which I'll let you actually select which one we talk about first. There's the...
None of the images are loaded for me, so you can select based on the image, and I guess I
Most
can
of them
read
are
it.
here for me, but we can talk about a few of the quick news things. We can talk about Mr. Ferrari over there, Mr. Bloody Ferrari over at McLaren, and also, pardon me, other controversial F1 things related to it. And then we got a specific EV that I would like to talk about, the Porsche Cayenne. So
I mean, there would be enough for a spotted or spotted segment if
is there that many?
That still exists.
I mean, I can still see them.
I mean, I can see about 6, and half the image isn't loading. So I can imagine there was enough at some point.
There's never anything good spotting anymore.
I mean, no, they're never really good cars. Like the BMW U Class. Spelled
so
like a 4-year-old wrote it.
If you're in the podcast, basically, if you join the podcast basically after the big spotting season that was winter 2022, there is a segment that used to exist on the Stick Drift podcast. Now it's just gone because there's not enough of it.
It exists when and if there is stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there's just it's spotted while
like the
spotted.
SUV. Was it the SUV segment as well?
Yeah, we had SUVs of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Because
there was
a
new Nissan SUV. I don't know.
True. Because there was always, and Josh's favorite type of vehicle, actually, the SUV. There was always
My favorite.
there was always enough news to talk about SUVs and what they were doing every week. Now there's nothing. I think everything.
I mean, there is. There's at least 4.
Is there?
5.
Okay, well.
6. Yeah, there's plenty.
Let's begin with Spotted While Spotted, which, if you don't know, is a segment where we see cars testing all the time. People take snapshots of them when they're testing, but to hide facelifts and new designs, they put little liveries on them with little patterns, often spots. Thus, these cars have been spotted while spotted. What's pointless, the livery?
Oh, the Alpine. I didn't put it in it, but the new B2.
I saw that. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I got that on Twitter. So first of all, over here, not exactly an Alpine, we got Ford Puma. Oh wait, hang on. The electric Ford Puma.
Oh yeah, they're making an EV Puma.
To be named Gen E, which I guess
like
it's
the Amazon show.
Like the Amazon show. It's the new spin-off. Then we got another SUV, I believe, or is Puma an SUV? I think it is.
I would count as a small SUV.
We got the BMW.
U Class.
Is it
but
New
it's
Class?
Spelled,
but it's
U Class, but like German accented.
Yeah, it's New Class, but they clicked N and then
New
slammed
Classa.
their head on the keyboard. Like what? SUV
to
is
kick off a new era.
A new era. What? And the whole thing's got like bolted on things to it, so they're really trying to hide it. Then we have this might as well be SUVs of the week. This is
I see what I mean now.
This is the first ever combined SUVs of the week and Spotted or Spotted. The Peugeot E5008. How do you say that name?
Their SUVs 1000, their normal cars 100.
So how'd you say it? 5008? 55008?
They pronounce it 1,000 in the adverts. It'd be like 5,008.
That's
Foot.
terrible. Yeah, that's bad. Way.
Yeah, terrible naming.
Yeah, absolutely. And then looking at these,
It's meant to be the new top tier Persia, which I mean, no one's buying it.
Toyota says that the unexpected success of the GR Yaris means it will remain a permanent fixture in the firm's model lineup.
It was meant to be a limited production run, like just sort of limited sports car thing.
Yeah.
But it sold so well, they've decided, we'll make it permanently now. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and they used a testing image which tricked me into thinking
the new
this
one,
was
I think.
spotted while spotted. Oh, there you go. I will say though, hatchback renaissance. I called it. I'm telling you, I called it. When we look back in the future and car guys are talking about the hatchback renaissance, I hope everyone remembers it was me who called it and tokened the term. Thank you. I'll take my check.
I'm ready to say the Alpine A290 is going to look horrendous when that releases, but...
well, we'll talk about that with the...
They've made it a lot more round.
Hunt down the images for it while I talk about this last few. Then we got the electric Audi A4 e-tron. They're making a lot more base level whatever electrics is what Audi seem to be doing.
Yeah.
Like the A4, like obviously that the SUV one, which is also named the e-tron, which is just bad. I see
looking for?
A cool Volkswagen. The spotted images of the A290.
Yeah, that's it. Completely forgot.
But yeah, that thing. I saw the image, and the one thing I was looking for was specifically whether it had the center steering, and it did not have the center steering.
It doesn't. No, that is 100% scrap for price.
I see what you mean about it being a bit rounder.
It's gotten very round.
But it's retained the, like, X-lights on the front. I'll give it that.
I don't know if it will when it hits production.
It's an Alpine. It's got to have those lights.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to distinguish it between that and the normal Renault 5 in spotted images.
Oh, you reckon? So people don't
100%.
think, so people know that it's... Well, they've got
because
a livery
it's a Renault 5.
But it's got a livery that... It's got a livery, though. Come on.
Yeah, that's how you know they're reaching for people to be able to tell them apart.
Also, the fact that they put a livery on it is it sort of speaks to, yeah, they kind of do want it to be shown now. Is that fine with people being?
I mean,
like...
I think it launches soon, according to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially
June.
with testing. There you go. There's it looks a bit taller, if I will say. It looks a bit nerdier. Is that what I
mean? Yeah,
claim?
no, it's gone from a bespoke center seating performance hatchback to we have taken a Renault 5 and it's a bit quicker.
I was never sold on the back. The back looks even uglier. I will say that. Okay, look. Hear me out.
It's going to be more of a trim of the Renault 5 than an actual Alpine.
And it's good for that. I'm gonna say that. It's a good car, I think, actually. And look, you can see that two guys are sat there because it's not center steering, which...
How much would you pay for...
I swear they were gonna make this thing cheap, weren't they?
5.
Were they not gonna make this cheap, or were they gonna make this cheap?
I think Renault 5 is gonna be £30,000 MSRP for a good spec one.
So I guess this one would be like what, at least 10k more, if it's a...
No, it's not worth £40,000 though.
Well, I mean, I know. I'm just asking if I assume that's the kind of rough...
Depends how different it is. In
Yeah.
these images, it just literally looks like wheels.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't
maybe
see
a spoiler.
I don't see the Renault 5 in this thing. I never have.
Did you see the concept Renault 5 images from ages ago?
I might...
It got a lot
hang
rounder
on.
as well.
Is it this? Is this that image? That does look a lot like...
No.
Okay.
That's a render based off the images, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But that looks a lot like the Alpine.
Yeah, no, they are identical. They have the same body. They will share all the same body panels.
I see a prototype. Is it this? Which again, it does look a lot like the Alpine A290. So I'm not too sure. Josh is frozen as well, so we'll never know.
Yeah.
There we go. Is it this thing?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
can
looks
see
a
they've
lot.
covered up the vents.
It curves in a lot more as well on the front, and it doesn't look like it's got the beefiness that the concept one did. The concept one had some beef to it. This one doesn't
Crash
have some
regulations
beef
do
to
to
it.
you.
Yeah, there you go. But those are all the cars that have been spotted while I was gonna say relevant. They're all the ones that Josh put in the chat that had been.
That's all the ones that showed up on Twitter. So,
There
yeah.
you go. That had been spotted while spotting.
X, my bad, X.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Bad, actually, I think. Speaking of Elon, what's Tesla doing this year? Are they doing anything this year?
They might release a car.
That'd be funny.
People are complaining that Cybertrucks are rusting. Which
yeah,
is
so
funny.
they're like recalling them, no? Like
not officially recall. They ain't sold enough.
Okay. Oh right, yeah. No, they only gave out like
delivered, like,
100
10.
or so. Oh yeah, less. Yeah.
They've made.
Yeah.
I saw someone on Twitter VIN number 114 had
Okay, yeah,
mismatched coloured louvers on it,
Mhm.
which means they've made 100.
Yeah.
They haven't shipped 100 yet.
No. So that's gonna be the question that everyone has to come back to. Where's the damn Cybertruck? But screw the Cybertruck. Let's talk about a different stinky EV. And that is
It's quite long.
the recent reveal and very much made fun of Porsche Cayenne? Macan? It's one of
It's
them.
the lower trim.
Macan
Cayenne.
EV? Is it?
I
is
don't
it-
remember which one's
It's
higher
the
up in the tier.
Cayenne, I think.
Cayenne.
Macan, it's the Macan, sorry.
Macan.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. It's the Macan. So, if you haven't heard about this car yet, good on ya. For audio listeners, for those driving, focus on the road and picture in front of yourself right now on that road the car I'm about to describe to you. A Porsche Taycan, but you kind of just messed with the proportions in Photoshop a little, and now it's an SUV. That's essentially what this car is.
Yeah.
It has the front, it has the back of a Taken. Did I say Cayenne or did I say Taken? I should have said Taken if I didn't say Taken.
It's you should take her.
I might have said Taycan, which I just sort of alternate between. Never let them know your next move, you know? So you'll never know if I'm talking about the Taken or the Taycan. But maybe they're two separate cars. No one knows at this rate. But
I don't like how big the lights under the front lights are.
You reckon? How so? I mean, it could look beefy, but look.
Why are they so like the size of the normal headlights, but just underneath the front bumper for some reason? I don't get it. It's so odd proportionally.
I've had to repress myself when it comes to this thing. Because I might like it a little. Visually. Only visually. It's just like, okay, that is a bad rear.
Look at the one on the left like look at the front of it. It
Yeah.
has like a massive underbite or so. Like, why does it look like that?
Well, it's just like it's a Taycan that's been to the gym, basically.
It's been stung by a bee. I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
gone to the gym.
And it's sort of been like squished together. To be fair, I don't know the size of this thing, like base-wise, but
Big.
is it? Well, I mean, is it as
Oh,
wide as
you
a
have
Taycan?
to see one of these in person.
Have you seen one in
I
person
forget
already?
how big the Taycan is. Not this new one, but it's going to
Okay.
be the same dimension.
Yeah, yeah.
Dimensionally as the old one, just with a Taycan body squish onto it. I forget how big the Taycan actually is sometimes, but the Taycan works because it's wide, long, and long.
Yeah.
This is bulbous.
And everyone's been making fun of it. I've seen them post about it on Instagram, TikTok, and it's all like, no one wants this. Why have you made this?
The issue is they sell well.
That's the that's the thing. A TikTok or commenting audience aren't the people who are gonna buy an SUV. EVs are just convenient now, especially with the ULEZ and whatnot, as well as being prepared for the changes. SUVs are convenient to parents because they don't know what they're talking about, and they'll buy these for their kids and
They're
to drive
convenient
them
to parents
around.
because they're very easily sold by salesmen in the Porsche dealership.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you get like once you're past maybe, I'd say when you're in lower upper class, maybe even a bit of upper middle class, someone's not gonna want to drive around in a Vauxhall like SUV.
I would say even lower middle. People will finance these on PCP for £200 a month just to look rich.
It's really the...
That's what Porsches are
Yeah.
brought by people who want to look rich.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
That's
It's
why
the
they
Urus
end up on
audience.
eBay for £3,000 at the end, because they've had zero maintenance done, because they can't afford it, because they're spending their entire paycheck on monthly payments for the car.
It's a Urus genre. That's what it is. It's the Urus genre of cars. It's Urus, Rolls-Royce SUV. Well, that one might actually cost a lot. I don't actually know, but
I think it does. It's a Rolls-Royce.
Yeah, but the Urus, the new Ferrari SUV, this thing, the Maserati have an SUV as well.
Oh, the Levante or something like that.
I always... Yeah, the thing with that thing, the Maserati SUV, is in my head it doesn't even exist half the time. Because I'm like, I'll go to say something like, oh, Ferrari making an SUV is like if Maserati made an SUV.
I forget Maserati, the brand, exists half the time.
Yeah.
Until I see one, I'm like, oh, someone brought one.
And then I completely forget that they do make an SUV. To be fair to them, I think it's because they're irrelevant most of the time. The fact they can make an SUV and stuff like the MC20, that's you know what? Fair play to them. That's quite the two cars. But
you say that like
yeah,
the Urus and Lamborghini and Ferrari don't do the exact same
guess,
thing.
yeah, fair. I suppose Maserati really just is out of the way. But it's that audience of buyer, the Urus audience. There's a better name for them somewhere. But Range Rovers, same thing with like the upper level, blacked out higher spec Range Rover audience as well. Those are the same type to get the same type of car. And
I mean, it's just soccer mom card.png.
Yeah, yeah. People
this is going to replace a base model Range Rover Evoque in the car park.
Yeah, people are going to buy this. I think, especially given, what were the EV SUV options before? Like the Mach-E and the Audi? Those were the only two I can think of, at least.
God, the Mach-E exists.
Yeah, and they sell in the UK.
Have you ever seen an EV Audi SUV?
I don't know. I think so.
I can't remember the last time I saw
I think I've seen two. Because they are rather aggressive, and they do look like...
I think they're too much money.
You reckon? But
You'd be surprised how cheap Audi SUVs are. You could buy a base model... What's their denominator for SUVs? Q, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Sounds about right.
You could buy like an Audi Q2 for something like £35,000.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't a lot of money.
But
they have an Audi badge on them.
Exactly.
So people are like, I must own cheap Audi. I must consume car.
But is this thing a lot more than that? Is this thing just in a different echelon?
Base 53,000. If you get a top trim, it's 71,000. Which
that's cheaper than I would expect.
You say that, but the Evoques are dirt cheap.
Oh no, yeah, true. The thing with Range Rovers, which me and you discovered, which is rather funny, is the more expensive ones look worse. Like they actively look like the worst versions. I assume they have better whatevers, but it's funny to know that the uglier ones are the more expensive ones.
Yeah.
But on
$100,000 for a Range Rover. Take your money away from you at that point. I don't know. Deserve.
But on that note, we can go from talking about the Porsche whatever, the EV, which God, I feel like we're gonna see even more falling flat of EVs throughout the year. Which, on that same note,
I was gonna say Taycans are down to almost £30,000 now. I wonder what these are gonna be in a year.
Welcome back to the iconic segment of the Stick Trip podcast. How much has the Porsche Taycan depreciated now? Over to our correspondent, Josh.
So I got bored and was like, how's a Taycan doing recently? Nope, that's Alpine. There's also an Alpine one here.
Yeah.
44,999 is a new low, down from 48,900 from last time we checked.
It's just plummeting and plummeting.
But it's not just one below £50,000 now. There's about 20. They are, and they're not even like high mileage ones. They're 2020s with 40,000 miles on them.
So I'm curious, what is made of the estate? What's happened to that thing? Because that thing, surely, because I see a picture of it right now.
There's a million trims is the issue. Porsche.
Yeah, looking at it, I do still quite like the look of the Estate. The Estate one is it's rather nice, and I've seen a few in real life. There's one guy, I think, not in my local area, but in areas I cycle through, has the green Estate, which is quite the color for it. But it's
there
a
is
nice
one
car.
below £50,000, 49,991.
So the Estate's retaining its value better
It's
than
a 2022 with 4,000 miles.
I'm curious, what would have cost more? What's more money? Like new originally, the Estate or
the Estate? You can only buy the Estate with the long range battery pack.
So the Estate originally costed more anyway. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I thought that the Estate.
Because these ones
yeah.
are. Oh no, these are. That top one's a 93 kilowatt hour.
Oh well, there you go. I thought that the Estate was the one that is cheaper, but no. Okay, it makes sense that the Estate has retained value just a bit above because it started just a bit above when it comes to original price. But it seems like the Estate's plummeting just as much.
They only sold the Estate from 2022 onwards, as far as I'm aware, as well. So they're all much newer. Well, 2 years newer. Which in the world of taker prices is a decade.
Yeah. But
So I mean, yeah. They are going to hit that price. What looks like even quicker. There are sub £60,000 ones.
Are they still making the Estates? Like newer ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I will say, I don't mind it. It looks kind of... Look, I went to Theo's, Black Panther, any other Panamera. That thing looks quite cool in person. Especially from the back, it looks rather nice. I've not seen enough of these things or seen enough of them driving to really get a feel for the Estate. Probably because they don't have the range to get anywhere.
I don't really... They're less of an Estate and more of the sports coupe body style of the normal one.
They don't look like a wagon, though. No, yeah.
Just raised a bit.
Yeah. They don't really look like a wagon.
With how sharp that roof slopes down and how sort of how the rear boot's angled like this, you aren't fitting anything in it.
I do rather like the, speaking of, went to Theo Black Panther, if you don't know, very big content creator, his friend and lead writer of the Knobheads, Corey, invited us for a birthday, and we saw the whips. The Skyline wagon goes pretty damn hard. The Nissan Stagia, I think it's
Stagia, I don't know, Stagia, one of the two pronunciations.
Just whatever, right? I assume this is a fake image, is what I'm gonna do. Hang on. There is a lot of more real-looking images of this. It seems custom, though, at least.
Why have they put a GTR front bumper on it?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It seems like people have stagiared the... Oh, God. They've stagiared the newer Nissans. I searched Stagia right now. I'm barely seeing any images. It appears that the one that has the front of a Skyline is a more rarer version. The other one...
It doesn't have the front of the Skyline stock.
Oh, is that not stock?
No.
Ah, okay. I was going to say, because the one I'm looking at here
it has the really weird, like, sort of bug-eye front end on it normally.
I'm looking at this thing, which just seems like the most nondescript front bumper imaginable.
Yeah, that's what they usually look like.
Yeah, like, that is the most just sort of front bumper of a car. So, is there just, like, a person who's been, like, buying them, putting a Skyline on them, and selling them? Is that what's been going on?
I think it's the front bumper fits on the other one without a kit, really. You can just kind of...
So you can just swap it on, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing, pretty cool. I saw that. It's I out of all of his cars, I'm not gonna lie, it's the one that I quite like the most. The Stagia. And I will say, out of my dream cars, the wagon is definitely the replaceable one. And I'd go for any wagon. Any single wagons out there, you know.
I mean, a Stagia is about third of the price of a Taken. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cheaper, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot. They are dirt cheap.
Oh, okay. I thought which one of his has the? Oh,
it's
the Skyline.
Last time I checked.
It's the Skyline of his that has retained like crazy value.
2004 Nissan Stagia, £4,600.
Oh, okay, cheap as hell. Oh, damn.
Yeah, they are practically nothing.
But that's not front Skyline, I assume. But
Can't imagine the front Skyline bumper's too expensive.
yeah, hopefully you'd think so, but you do have to have a skyline to do it. So I guess you never know. You never know. It implies a skyline's been scrapped somewhere. Poor thing.
So non-original front bumpers for Skyline.
Before we talk about the shenanigans of the Hamilton, quickly I wanted to bring up this thing. If you don't know what's on screen right now, it's a brand new Abarth 600E. Perceived to be Abarth making a bit of a redemption with a rather sporty looking modified version of the 600, which I looked at and was like, this looks really cool. It also says Abarth Plus, so I guess that's going to be their range of like sportier things. I thought this thing looked really, really, really cool. It's sort of just like a really sporty hatchback-looking version of an Abarth 500, which might not sound cool to you audio listeners, but I'm telling you, it looks sick if it was actually hatchback size. Instead, it's about the size of a 600, just lower suspension.
I mean, it is a 600. That's
Yep,
the thing.
it's a 600, but it was so close to being so cool if it was just a bit smaller.
It's the hot EV crossover, according to Abarth.
Yeah, I just like, why? If you're gonna buy an SUV, you're not looking for a hot EV sporty one.
The issue is,
Yeah.
Abarth are solely bankrolled by Fiat.
Mm.
They do not sell very well at all in any market.
Yeah.
And I think they want to get into the US as well, and this is a very good car for that.
Yeah, I suppose. It's in a really nice orange as well, I will say. Not orange, sorry. I suppose I'm not even...
That is an interesting colour of orange.
I'm not even color blind. I'm like color dyslexic at this point. But it's a very nice purple that it's got. But sucks to suck, I suppose, man. I thought this thing would have been so cool.
And it's not even quick. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It makes 230 horsepower.
Yeah. But the thing is, it just looks so... If this... do you agree? If this was hatchback size...
It's a render.
Is it? Okay, but...
It will never look like that.
Well, there's no reason it wouldn't look like that. It looks fine.
Cost.
Oh, well, okay. Hear me out. Let's suspend your disbelief for a minute, all right? Let's feed some
Disbelief
imagination.
has been suspended.
Okay.
Permanently.
This thing, like that, hatchback size, that'd be not as slow as it is. That'd be a pretty cool hatchback. You gotta admit. That's a good looking car. If it was a zippy hatchback.
It's EV. You
Yeah,
can't
that's
have a sporty hatchback that weighs 2 tons.
That's a fair point.
The maths doesn't really work that way.
Yeah, well, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get Xiaomi to develop the technology of weight reduction for this thing. But
Caterham can do it. Caterham claim they can make a 1.3 ton EV sports car.
Is that cheat? Is that light?
They just won't.
Oh.
They made one of them like, yeah, we can do it.
Aren't
We're
they
not going
making
to.
that weird thing? They're making that weird thing, I swear, Caterham.
No, that thing was the weird EV thing they made was solely to flex that we can make a 1.3 ton sports EV. No one else can. Take the L, and then just didn't make it in mass production.
Is that thing not coming to mass production?
No.
This weird Maserati looking thing. The
Yeah.
That's not
Project
coming
V
to...
or whatever it's called. Yeah, no, they made that solely to flex on everyone else.
Project V. Was this made by Amazon? It's the second boys reference this episode, but that's so what? That sucks. I mean, as much as I hate how it looks like from the back.
You got to bear in mind, Caterham operate on such a limited budget. They
guess.
could never mass produce something like that.
Make it to order or something. I don't know.
It would cost way too much money.
Yeah, I guess. Well,
but you can make a 2-seater light EV sports car.
So that's what this is. This is EV, but quick and light, I suppose.
Yeah.
Huh.
It weighs less than Dylan's 350.
Damn. Okay. Wow. Does it have
so
good
you can.
range?
You can. I think they said 250 miles. Which is... That's more than the field, I guarantee you that. So.
Yes, but I imagine it's not as much as a gas-guzzling sports car of its style could do.
VX220 gets about 230 miles of range.
Oh, okay, okay.
Tank.
So it's not even like a... Oh,
About
alright.
2's about 300, so it's not too far off.
Yeah, I suppose. Huh.
But, they just won't make it, because...
That sucks. It looks so simplistic as well. It doesn't even... Well, the front looks nice. The back looks... Maybe I'll grow to it. To be fair, this is a more real image of it. It doesn't even look that bad from the back now that I'm looking at it here. It just looks really... Like, do something on the back. Anything at this point. It's just flat. But, that sucks. Damn. Okay, well, big up Caterham, and also Caterham Worst Brand of the Year official award given. But from that, Josh, I think it's time where I'm here to announce that the Stick Drift podcast is officially signed to Ferrari now, along with our busy mate, Lewis Hamilton. Explain
that
to
image
me.
Looks so stupid.
So you're the F1 guy. I've got a Kinder Bueno.
I haven't kept up with any of this, by the way. So this is just solely going to be remembering what I've seen on Twitter.
Yep. You've got one Kinder Bueno's worth of time to give me the full rundown on what the hell even happened. From the start, when it was mere rumor. Go on.
I don't know what's happened. I think he's, I don't know, hit his head. Because Mercedes doing bad for, 2 seasons now. So he's decided to go to a team that's done bad for 2 seasons, I think is the gist of it. They've obviously given him more money. I think it was like giving like 400 million towards personal projects, in quotation marks.
Damn, alright. Means. I'll sign.
But, I mean, yeah. I think he just kind of wants the chance to win a championship with Ferrari. And if he does bad, he'll retire.
Does Ferrari have the capability to win in the championship?
They won a championship I think it was Kimi Raikkonen. He doesn't race in F1 anymore. So.
You'd think you'd go to like Red Bull if you wanted to do a big good, surely.
Him and Max Verstappen and team wouldn't get on.
You reckon?
That car is built for Max.
I guess, yeah.
It would take him a season to get used to the thing, and then by then the car would be even more built for Max, so it'd just be kind of pointless.
So we were out the day this news dropped. News drops in the morning, and it's mere rumor, but Sky News are talking about it. And I remember...
They were camping outside Mercedes HQ.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah.
And, our friend who isn't even into the F1s and whatnot, he told us about it. He was like, now I don't care about this, but some of you guys will probably know about something about Hamilton switching to Ferrari. And you mentioned, not confirmed, yes. And then it was...
I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because this is like an Alonso level move.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no logical sense on paper. He's moving from...
Yeah.
He's technically stepping down, I think. Mercedes done better last year than Ferrari. So he is stepping to a worse team.
As well as...
Yeah, like, there's no possible benefit. I don't think they will ever be in the fastest car.
Mm.
It's just...
And then... It's...
money, I think.
Yeah. It was rumor, and then it sort of... It started to, one by one, get confirmed by other different official accounts. Ferrari, Mercedes, all of those. Until Mercedes tweeted something like, Lewis initiated an emergency release or something like alarming like that in his contract. And the weirdest thing about this is he's not switching this season where he's still racing for Mercedes. And
his contract is so expensive. It would have probably 100 million to release it a year earlier.
And Sainz now has to race for Ferrari.
But that's pretty normal though.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard.
So yeah, he's switching for 2025, not this year.
Yeah, like midway through this season, people announced we're not racing for this team anymore, and we'll just race with that team for the rest of the year.
So what I heard was Sainz, I don't know if you told me this or it was on TikTok, 'cause I've been getting more F1 TikToks. But
TikTok's a dangerous place to be.
I know. I'm also getting the sort of like the F1 fangirls side of TikTok, and it's just like, and then I get the like TikToks making fun
Alonso
of
doing
that.
looks maxi art.
Yeah, well, yeah, I saw that.
You said it to me, I think.
I think I did. It's Alonso for those who are above the age of 20. I'm sorry. It was Alonso looks maxing and mogging.
He's like 43 years old, by the way.
And you don't need to know what those words mean either. But
I don't think he knows. His social media manager was like, do this.
Yeah.
And do this.
So I've seen just like the ones who are just like, oh, just 8 rich people going around in a circle or whatever, and then it's women being like 8 hot people going around in a circle or whatever.
8. Numbers dropped off.
How many is there?
20.
Oh, close enough. But yeah, so F1 TikTok. So I forget who it was, either you or F1 TikTok, but Sainz was apparently sort of being tentative to get him to give him more money. To get him to...
Yeah, he was negotiating with other teams to try and get more money out of Ferrari. Or a better contract in general. But,
yeah.
But they saw Lewis Hamilton was free.
And then
they would have dropped him anyway. They would have done a 1-year contract with him if they didn't.
Ah, okay. Interesting. So now he's racing for just like this. He's racing for this one season.
I mean, essentially, this season is him advertising himself to other teams.
Yeah. So he better do good, Sainz. Sing Smooth Operator at full volume, and maybe they will sign him. Now, hopefully he gets signed.
Issue is, there's like 10 drivers' contracts who end at the end of this year. So everyone's going to want to see.
So it's going to be a big shake-up. That'll be interesting to see. Who did I hear who's from Williams going to maybe Red Bull? Maybe someone else? Maybe Ferrari?
Apparently Albon is like #1 prospect for both Red Bull and Mercedes, which is ridiculous.
Apparently in the racing things that aren't F1, Albon was really good. Like has championships in like karts and stuff like that.
I mean, they all do.
Sure, all right.
They'll all have at least an F Series championship, F1 or F2.
Okay.
They'd have multiple national and international car championships.
You're telling me Gotifi had that as well? Is that what you're telling me?
Gotifi was cracked. Like, he was unironically cracked in... I think he won F2.
Oh, okay.
He won an F2 championship, and I think he won a load of kart championships. He just couldn't drive an F1 car.
But yeah, so... there is Lewis Hamilton Ferrari. Sainz, no one knows, I think.
It depends who makes the next move.
Yeah.
Because someone has to fill that Mercedes seat.
Yeah. Was Albon for Red Bull or Albon for Mercedes under this rumor?
Both.
Oh, okay. Damn. Albon's chilling.
Because he was...
Yeah.
Williams is essentially the Mercedes junior team at the moment.
Yeah. Damn.
But...
Rough. Oh, and he's gone butt and then frozen. And then, look at me. I'm Josh, and I think F1 cool.
But Albon was a Red Bull junior driver.
Yeah.
So it's both want him. Is what the gist is at this point. It's.
I also see.
But Williams go in the bin if they lose him.
Yeah.
He's one of the lowest paid drivers at the minute.
Who's their other one?
Sargent, yeah.
I thought so. What a guess from me. Beautiful.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm getting good at this.
Albon is one of the lowest paid drivers on the grid at the moment. And the amount of development work he does for Williams is ridiculous. He is the sole reason that car isn't trash at the minute. He is the sole reason they went dead last in the standings last year. If they lose him, they lose.
Is he like putting in extra hours going on a test track, being like
development knowledge?
Okay.
He's been in F1 long enough, and he's driven that car for so long that he knows it doesn't feel right in this area. This needs to be changed. Kind of way. Sargent, he can crash a car. I can tell you that. That's about it. but he's a rookie, so he doesn't really know much.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
issue is, if they lose Albon and they drop 2 positions in the standings, they lose like $20 million, I assume it's dollars, in prize money.
Ooh.
So now the issue is, do they pay Albon an extra $5 million a year on a contract to keep him in the hopes to make 20 mil more a year in standings prize money? Or do they get a paid driver in, essentially, where they don't have to pay any money for the driver and they just don't care about standings? And let Albon go to Mercedes or Red Bull or something like that.
I guess that's what we'll see. But
Alonso has the opportunity to do something very funny, though.
Yeah, so he's what, Mercedes? No, Aston Martin, right?
Aston Martin.
Yeah.
If Aston Martin have a stinker year again, like it looks like they're gonna.
Yeah.
If he moves to Red Bull or Mercedes, he's like 40. Everyone makes the joke that he's the rookie or something on the grid.
Yeah, but he's really
like
old,
40.
right?
Yeah, he's like 40. How old is he actually?
I think someone was saying that someone vaguely said, Alonso
42.
proved how old?
42.
Yeah. Someone was saying that Alonso proved that just because Hamilton is getting older, it doesn't mean he can have a bad year and he can still win a championship or whatever. Hamilton,
if that Aston Martin was a championship, like even level with that Red Bull, there would be an actual championship fight between Max Verstappen and Fernando Alonso,
and
which
that'd
is wild.
be sick, and that'd be absolutely sick. But I will say, what will I say is the question. No one knows what I will
predict. I'm gonna make a prediction.
Yep. Go on.
I don't know when Alonso's contract ends. That's the thing. Right. Albon to Mercedes. But they have a junior driver, don't they?
Yeah.
No, he needs a year in F2. Albon, no, but Hamilton stays this year.
So are these your 2025 predictions?
That's the thing. Yeah, no, they're not 24. They're 25.
What changes get announced this year and then lead to 25?
Alonso isn't going to retire. I can tell you that. He's going to take whatever seat's given to him at the end of his Aston Martin contract.
Not after the year he just had. Absolutely.
He's old.
Oh, I suppose, but he had a baller year.
That's why. Oh, who was he with before? I forget. I can't remember.
AlphaTauri. Sorry.
Alpine. Alpine wouldn't
Bull.
give him a longer than 1 year contract because of his age.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Ooh, rough.
That's how Aston Martin got him.
Yeah.
Because Aston Martin were last in the championship standings, but they offered him a multi-year deal. Yeah. It just happens that the car was good. I reckon Albon, if Mercedes don't call it a junior driver, Albon to Mercedes, because it just makes sense being in a Williams.
Is the Mercedes a good car?
Much better than the Williams.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a second or third fastest car.
Yep.
They'll then put the junior driver in the Williams, and then Williams will have basically two rookies. They will then drop to last in the standings. That's second last as usual, but they'll keep Kevin and Nico. Who's gonna fill what seat? No, I've got no idea. I won't make a prediction. I'll take that back.
Well, there you go.
Alonso to win every single World Drivers' Championship from now on.
There was also some other news about someone who works at Red Bull. Had a big controversy. Now, before you shed some light on this controversy, what I heard...
Very dim light, I ain't got much.
Yeah, what I heard is that there's the big controversy, and this guy might have to leave Red Bull. But a contract between him and the really good designer man who did the really good designing on the really good Red Bull car, apparently they have a contract that says if one goes, the other has to go. So
the other's free to leave, not has to go.
So what people were speculating was what if he has to leave, and then he leaves, and then
there will be an Adrian Newey bidding war if that happens.
It
will just be who can take out the largest loan to try and get him.
What if he's gonna go to Ferrari, and then Ferrari in 2025 is Lewis Hamilton with with Adrian Newey, and they'll go crazy.
Williams' God-tier money-saving strategy comes in handy. They've actually got like 400 million cash somewhere, and they just put a Helm wave it in front of his face, and they just become a good team again.
That would be really cool if
he did work with Williams. He done the W14 stuff
which
like
is
that.
I hear that one often enough that it's like that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's his car. He designed it, so I mean, he could
What
come back to Williams,
if-
please.
It would be funny if one of the bad ones got him. Like, it's Williams, and then what's the other bad one? It's
You say that Haas.
Haas.
It's not Alfa Romeo anymore, is it? It's
Steak, Visa Cash App.
Visa No, is it Visa Cash App? No, that's
Visa Cash App Red Bull. It's Steak.
Sauber Kick
Yeah, something like
F1
that.
team.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm calling them Sauber still.
Scab. I
Sauber
don't know.
are terrible.
Yep. Them. I say Haas. Pick him up and then.
Haas can't afford him.
Oh.
Like-
I say AlphaTauri.
Visa Cash App RB.
Oh, sorry. Visa Cash App RB. Yes. Visa Cash App RB. Pick him up, maybe.
There would be outrage if he went to the Red Bull sister team.
That would be funny, though.
He wouldn't be allowed. Like
Aw.
the FI would actually not allow that. I don't think.
I wonder if he has a non-compete clause, though, because those are rough.
He will probably have to have gardening leave, is what they call it, where
Yeah.
he can't work for another team for a year because of the
Ooh.
rate the tech advance is 1 year's long enough to where everything is useless at that point.
Yeah.
So I reckon I'll have a gardening leave of a year if he does leave, but he will retire. He is ancient, I think.
Hey, but he's still making good cars, you know? He's still absolutely putting
Because
it
he knows
together.
how to make a ground effect car.
What I heard was, right...
He's
Now-
65.
Oh, there you go. I'm not sure if this is true. What I heard is that he doesn't even really use, like, technology and stuff. He just kind of looks at it and goes,
No, he draws by hand. Everything he does is drawn by hand.
nuts, absolutely nuts.
Like, he can just look at something and go, yeah.
So what's
draws
up
it.
with the other guy, and what did he do?
Aggressive management style is allegedly what he's been investigated for.
Oh, I heard it was like, I heard way worse. I heard like the generic, just sort of like, yep, a woman came forward, you know?
Yeah, no, a woman came forward, but it's
Oh.
just aggressive management style.
Okay, it wasn't like,
It's
okay.
not. It's nothing. There's no way he resigns over it.
okay, it was just, okay. So Red Bull
Bad
keeps him.
company culture.
Yeah,
Stuff like
so Red Bull keeps them both for now, I suppose.
Yeah.
And this guy has made his way over to Ferrari. It is very funny. You say this image looks stupid? That's what it's gonna look like in 2025.
They
That's...
better change the suit because it looks stupid.
So, did Hamilton? He's only ever raced for Ferrari. No, sorry, for
McLaren as
McLaren.
well. He raced McLaren for
Mercedes.
3.
Oh, he raced for McLaren before. Okay.
Yeah, he won his first championship with McLaren.
Huh.
And then moved to Mercedes. Moving to Mercedes was a very bad move at the time, but
Uh-huh.
it panned out good.
But now he's going to, and Ferrari are rather iconic, I will say. It's Ferrari, you know. It's Ferrari. Ooh, Ferrari.
They aren't iconic for anything good in F1 at the minute. But,
And also, speaking of, we mentioned them earlier, AlphaTauri, which I thought had a pretty cool art design and a pretty alright name, are now Visa Cash App Red Bull.
it's not Red Bull. The RB doesn't stand for Red Bull.
Oh, does it not?
No,
What does it stand for?
RB.
Oh, it's just the letters RB.
It's just the letters RB.
Like,
yeah.
goddamn, like RB from Utopia.
Oh, they've changed because the team name's changed. They've changed the naming scheme of the car, right?
Yeah.
The car's the RB01.
Oh, but isn't
You can see where this is gonna get confusing in
the
5 years.
Red Bull main
Yes,
cars called
yes,
RB
yes,
like 19 currently
yes.
or something? Huh.
Yeah, that's gonna get real confusing in 10 years.
That's pretty funny, actually.
The RB09. Which one? Visa Cash App.
Yeah. To be fair, I suppose. Well, I imagine the RB19 or whatever we're on right now. I doubt that started at like 12. I assume that went down to 1 as well. But I assume that was just like a car in 2000.
The issue is, if I search RB01, I'm
Yeah.
going to get the new one.
I don't know, RB02 or something. That'll be the year after, I guess. but I assume Red Bull had cars that were named that before as well.
No,
then-
I get cassette reels.
Oh, okay, so no, I guess their naming scheme changed.
Oh no,
Oh.
they did.
Well, there you go. So then
But it wasn't O, it was RB2, RB1.
Ah, okay. So these are RB01 and RB02. Yeah, whatever.
They
But-
shouldn't be allowed sister teams.
What else is what is there anything else that's big?
Red
Hype?
Bull's new car is outrageous.
What about it? What did they do? Did they stick an extra wing on it?
They removed the intake duct on the side pods, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Like, this car is either going to be brokenly meta or terrible. But my internet's so bad, the images won't load, so I guess we'll never find out.
Also, liveries came out and they're bad, but we'll look at them some other time. That's all I got to say. Livery's bad.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
I'll put it in.
Gotcha.
I can go in motorsport news, because I'm feeling on theme.
Sure.
today.
There we go, Motorsport News, and this is
600K,
the
come on in
new
that.
Red Bull car from
You
2023
can see
and
the intake
2024
ducts
compared.
on the top, on the bottom one, the old one. You can see where there's clearly like a scoop on the top of the duct, where it scoops in. At the front.
Oh, at the front?
See where you got the B, the yellow line T, red line going diagonally. The red
Oh.
line diagonally goes sort of into the intake duct.
BYT? Yeah, sure. Or BYBIT, sure. I see a
The
red line
BIT,
going into a
but,
duct.
yeah, the red line going into the duct at the front.
Oh,
And then look at the new one.
Oh.
There is no intake duct.
Wouldn't that lift the car, though, wind-wise? Meaning less downforce? What's this guy talking about? What's this guy doing? What's he
Adrian
cooking?
Newey has drew this, so it's going to be broken.
Yeah, that's the thing. No one else is doing this, right? No one else has done
Nope.
no duct. So
Well, Mercedes did, but that's why they were so bad.
it would be funny if he just absolutely.
Which is it's going to be so funny if this is the quickest car by a mile.
Yeah, I was gonna say if this is even better and it's something that no one else is doing.
Because there were
it's
those
gonna
memes of, because the Mercedes went with like a no side pod design. There were Adrian Newey standing in front of it drawing.
Yeah.
And there were memes like Adrian Newey might fix the no side pod design. And they come up with this.
Yeah. So this is gonna be interesting to see then. I mean, to be fair, I can see what Mercedes did in the year whenever that Speed Champion came out, because I can look at the Speed Champion to figure out what they did that year. But
If this reduces the drag by 3-4%,
yeah,
it's just going to be broken. It was the quickest in a straight line before.
yeah.
A 4% improvement in aerodynamic efficiency will be insane. So, yeah, another year of Red Bull dominance.
I guess that's
is
what we
looking
look
like
forward
it's
to.
going.
Then,
Yeah, can't wait.
is there anything else in the world of F1 going on? Motorsports segment
No.
pre-ordered.
I mean, yeah, if it's a Motorsports segment pre-ordered, there's a decent amount of MotoGP, or the MotoGP stuff was spotted as testings on at the minute.
Yeah, they had some cool. They got
throw
double
up that
spoilers,
last.
which I joke about, but like they
they've
actually.
gone so comically aerodynamic.
Yeah, and then after this, we'll talk about the upcoming games and the crew situation and whatnot.
I'll send the Honda one, but the KTM is essentially the same, but the second front wing is in a different spot. This can also go in Motorsport News.
Yeah.
It's too many, give it a minute. But essentially the gist is the Honda the team have gone from essentially no aero
Yeah.
to how much aero can we fit on the bike in the span of a year.
Now, if I'm not wrong, Honda was the guy who wins a lot, but then was in a really bad bike this time.
He's moved to a much better bike. This bike is still tragic, apparently, according to the testers.
As in he
so.
changed teams? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is a Hamilton to Ferrari level move. He
Yeah.
won 8 championships with Honda. They had 2 bad seasons, and he just jumped ship to Ducati.
Well, to be fair,
Not even Ducati factory team, a privately owned Ducati team.
Damn, he was just dive bombing everyone as well, though, wasn't he? Because he was
That's the thing. He had to.
yeah,
It was be 17th, or you are dive bombing everyone to try and get a position.
yeah. So what have they done with this thing? Just stuck on a bunch of aero? Is that
Everything. You can see it's got a double diffuser
Got
in front of the
two
front
here,
wheel.
yeah,
It's got an F1 style rear wing. It's
Damn.
got 4 front wings technically, because you got 2 on the right, 2 on the left.
Yeah, I find
It makes a lot of downforce.
I find the MotoGP spoilers still really silly, and it's really funny.
They are so stupid looking. Let's see if I can find the KTM one.
It's actually a spoiler on a bike. It sucks that Motorfest got
Yeah, here's the KTM one's so much stupider than I remember.
It sucks that Motorfest got the Red Bull KTM bike. It sucks that they got
Just
them
a year
right
before they got so. This is the new one. Look at it. Look at that rear wing.
Is that a double spoiler?
It has a double front and double rear.
Now that's really
like. At what point is someone going to step in and they will ban aerodynamics at this rate because it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, that's really
you know
funny.
the Yamaha in touring car bikes. That's a 2018. Oh.
Yeah.
Camera frozen. Yeah, that's a 2018. In this between 2018 and 2024, they have gone from 0 aerodynamics.
I was gonna say those ones. I thought those were like like the one that got added with the Suzuki as well. I thought those were old school bikes, is what those were.
Those were like just before aerodynamics got.
Okay, I thought those were like 2000s kind of bikes, is what those were. You're frozen, so I guess we'll never know. But
yeah, frozen.
There you go. I thought those were like 2000s level bikes, but it seems Josh is to remain frozen, is what's going on. Everyone point.
It's frozen for a long time. Is
there
it back?
we go. Yeah, I thought those were 2000s bikes. I thought those
were
like old
2018.
school. They've gone from that to this. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Strange.
In the span of 6 years.
Yep. Very, very strange. But you know what? This season, I guess we'll see.
I wanted to watch testing, but I'm not paying like £400 million for it. So
anything else in the world of motorsports?
No, I don't like remember. British touring can't start for a while.
Well, then it is in the world of racing games. There has been a fair bit of stuff to come up. Well, there's speculation on a new Forza Horizon, but nothing concrete. Forza has just gone into a Chinese-themed season because they don't do enough Chinese-themed things. They don't do them enough.
Need more MGs.
So now we got a bunch of MGs and other Chinese cars and then a Hyundai. So those were added. Test Drive just doesn't exist still.
They're gonna be at an event.
Yes, 29th.
At some point soon.
Yeah, Feb 29th, they're gonna be at something.
I assume we'll get a trailer then for something again. But...
And we'll get a new update release date.
No release date. But...
So, originally, Test Drive was supposed to be...
21?
First quarter. Well, originally, yeah, 21. But it was supposed to be first quarter of this year. That was the most recent official time. Now, they didn't confirm this. What they said was early 2023 in their promotional material. But in that
I think that's when Nacon wanted it out because they're getting desperate.
Yeah, because it was in the earnings report where it said Q1 2024. If I said 2023, I lied. 2024. But clearly, we're 1 month away, 1 month and 10 days away from the end of the first quarter of 2024. And we've received precisely 0 trailers for the game, 0 information for the game, 0 anything for the game, and they don't even do the monthly newsletter
anymore. And I
don't
think we will.
You reckon? You reckon we're not even gonna get anything new about it?
We'll get a trailer. It will show nothing new.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. Lego 2K Drive still gets updates.
Making a massive loss on every update they do on that game, I can tell you that.
Yeah. As well as Need for Speed. We talked about this, got rid of their stuff recently. Could be big. Recently got added to PlayStation Plus, the PlayStation Plus, the not the base one, the good, not the essentials, the premium or whatever. That they got added to that and are gonna be in that. So I guess Unbound, maybe they'll do updates on it now. Who knows? Then after that,
I mean, isn't the team for that basically gone? So.
Yeah. There's but Optimism. They recently invited a bunch of everyone, not just content creators.
Think Optimism develops updates, unfortunately. I don't know. Optimism is just learn how to code recently.
Right. Think about it. They invited content creators as well as, not even just content creators, a bunch of different people. from all walks of racing games and whatnot, like livery creators, PvP players, all of that. They got him. They brought him to Criterion, and they were like, "How make a game good?" I assume. They just said that they got feedback. Really,
is it not just PR?
I mean, you would hope it isn't. But look, there was people who I know don't live in the UK who were at that event, so it's like they forked over money for that. And it wasn't posted on the official Need for Speed channels, it was just posted on the ComDev's own Twitter. So it seems like they're sort of backing up. You froze right before you were going to say something, so opinion invalid. They're backing up.
There's not enough people there to make a good update.
You reckon?
No.
Well...
Think how many employees Ivory Tower has.
300.
And the lack of content we get at the minute.
Company. Yeah, true.
Divide that by 10. Imagine if you divided TCM update quantities by 10.
That's a very good point, yeah.
What do you get?
Oh,
a
God.
Car.
Well, but to be fair, that's what Unbound updates were before.
Sure.
It was just like...
You're gonna get a quarter of a car this time, I don't know.
The first update was like the DeLorean, and then that's it. So, yeah. But, here's the thing. I hope. March, however, the one we're going into, is it's the crew's big month, is what March is. March is the biggest month in the crew history, I dare say. Ask me why.
They're launching the next game?
I bloody wish. Let's start with the Crew 1. And by start, I mean finish.
I forget they're executing.
Yep, the Crew 1 is shut down March 31st. March will be the final month you can play the Crew 1, the first game of the franchise, the game that launched the franchise, still the biggest hyped game in the franchise. The Crew 1 is going to be shut down. The Crew 2, in a vaguely similar vein, is getting its final update. It's getting its final named update. It's getting its big send-off. It's getting something that is going to be the last update for the Crew in March. All the Motor Pass cars finally returning as buyable vehicles, and presumably, hopefully, a decent send-off to the game. And the Crew Motorfest, the biggest of all, the current of all three, what the Crew Motorfest is getting is the first update past where they've actually got feedback of any kind on what an update should be. Hoonigan, that was presumably ready a decade before now. This update...
If what we've heard is true, this was finished pre-launch as well.
Well, I mean, that's likely.
If you remember.
I don't.
So no feedback has gone into this. Next update will be the first update that we are aware might have feedback implemented into it. Can you not remember?
I don't remember, honestly. You'd have to message it to me. I actually have no idea, honestly. But the hope is that this update, they actually start making changes. This is the update that's gonna make or break, because this is the update that I think is gonna lead into summer, right? This is the summer update of the game, which... Oh, yeah. Oh, true. Yes, very true. But, I do reckon, I do. I don't know if you can still hear me when I'm frozen. I think you can.
I can. Yeah. Discord.
So there is a chance that all of this was done well prior, but this is the summer update. So regardless, like they always are, Forceburg, US Speed Tour, this is the update that the game will have until next year. It's the one that's going to be going on during summer.
It's not even in spring.
Oh, well, when's technically summer? What is summer? What is the concept
spring
of summer?
Starts April.
April, January, February, March. April. Okay, yeah. What? So when does summer start?
I'd say I think it's June, July, June. I'd say June. That's the
Yeah,
start.
close enough. Okay, you know what? It leads into the summer update, and if year one passes to be believed,
March is summer. That's one of the most outrageous things you ever said on this podcast. If March is summer, I need the
look,
new update.
I never learnt my months. I didn't know my months till I was like maybe 15. All right,
You've lived through 20 Marches. If you think those are summer,
I just never think about them. I've never thought about it ever. I thought Sunday.
summer holidays. What months are the summer holidays?
I couldn't tell you. I know they go back September. I couldn't tell you what months they are though. I have no idea. Like all I know is September
July,
when school starts.
August.
Oh, and I know September comes after that.
Well, yeah, because you go back September, so the summer holidays is like July 14th to September 1st or something, or September 7th.
I thought it was a lot longer. You know what? When I was a kid and I didn't know the months and I didn't even know the days of the week, time felt like it would have gone on forever.
I mean, it was like 70 days.
Yeah. But when I knew it was 2 months, like I remember first hearing that the summer holidays were 2 months, and they'd never felt shorter since. Like they had always felt like 2 days, if anything. I hated it. When I just knew that school's done, and now it's just day after day after day after day, bliss. Ignorance, bliss, absolute bliss. But this update is gonna be hopefully, it's the chance for the crew to redeem itself. So the Motorfest gets its hopefully redemption update. The Crew 2 get its final update, and the Crew 1 gets its final goodbye.
If the TCU update is good,
Yeah.
it's by chance, not by implementation of feedback.
You reckon? Well, just because it's...
There's no
likely...
feedback. It was done. It was done way too far in advance.
Here's what I'm thinking, is that yes, the playlists likely are done way earlier than they actually release. Yes. But everything else, I do think is done snippety snap. Like PvP, other updates, qual, like part switching. They just.
You reckon there's going to be a PvP change this update?
I wish. I guess we'll see. Look, I'm optimistic. They call me optimistic.
Ivory Tower doesn't care about your optimism.
Well, they should.
They will find the laziest way to make an update humanly possible.
Well, I can hope otherwise. We know that there is 2 playlists an update. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. They did it once. Hopefully, the second one isn't as bad as this time, because the drift playlist was shoddy. Other than that, that's March. The March is the crew's big month.
Summer.
Summer. So indeed, the beginning of summer. And then Forza, we'll talk about anticipation for new games and whatnot next episode. I think that's all there is on this big catch up first episode of the year. I believe so, at least.
Actually, that big of an episode.
Yeah. I guess there wasn't a lot, or maybe I've forgotten a lot. I don't know. There was something that I wanted to talk about that wasn't to do with...
I mean, you've got plenty of time to think about it, if you can.
I mean, it
might
have been something to do with AI. Was AI tangentially related to cars recently in some way? It might have been, but I don't remember. There's also...
Now that you mention it, it rings a bell, but that bell is very far away. I don't know what it's
I
saying.
feel like there was something that was mainstream news that I was like, oh, that's vaguely related to cars. And I was
it
like,
will
okay.
be on the Autocar main page, and I will not have to search for it.
Sure.
I will cross my fingers.
Because I remember there being something that was like...
Volkswagen ID7 Estate, 426 miles around.
I saw that, yeah, I saw that.
That looks kind of cool.
It did actually look rather nice, yeah.
How Renault's Lego gearbox changed the hybrid game. They are really waffling today, aren't they? Car news, latest news. I'm not.
I guess not. I mean, I suppose there was nothing. If there was, I'll remember too late, and then I'll not remember by next episode. So it's a long gone cause regardless. Oh well, though. I suppose we'll come back around to it. On that note, that's about it for this week of the Stick Drift podcast. Rewatch it 1 billion times, And we'll see you boys next week. Yeah, probably, hopefully, likely, but who knows?
Make some news. If you work at Autocar, just start tweeting lies. I don't know.
Yes,
New
yes.
Supra coming out. New RX-7.
Just say anything you have to get out some news.
Please, make some news.
Auto AI generate some news.
Wrap a normal RX-7 in a spotted or spotted livery and title it new RX-7 spotted. I don't know,
There
please.
you go, right? Wrap like a... wrap a Revuelto and be like, new Supra? There you go. I was about to thank the members.
Thanks, popular members.
Which, you know what? Oh, maybe that's foreshadowing. Ooh.
No one's becoming a member.
I'll get around to it. All right,
You've got to set it up so no one will become member because they won't be
exactly,
able to.
because there's no way to. You know what? If you watch this long, comment and rate and review on Spotify.
Latifi to Mercedes 2025.
Latifi to Mercedes, and let us know in the comments if you got an extra bonus episode and other content. Would you become a member to the Stick Shift podcast? All right, in a bit.